When you think of yoga, what usually comes to mind?
Yeah.
For most of us, it's probably, quiet meditation, maybe some gentle stretching.
Peace, mindfulness.
Yeah, exactly. But what happens when that ancient practice steps onto a fiercely competitive international stage?
It's a whole different ballgame, isn't it?
It really is. So today, we're taking a deep dive into this surprising world of Yogasana as a high-stakes sport.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we're really unpacking something quite remarkable, the second Asian Yogasana Sports Championship 2025.
Okay.
Our mission here is to explore what competitive Yogasana actually involves, the sheer scale of this recent championship, and crucially, why Japan's performance there was, and I don't think this is an exaggeration, truly historic.
Historic, yeah. Because we're talking about Japan going from, essentially zero
Right.
to a podium finish in what was pretty much their international debut in this specific competitive arena.
It's an incredible story, a really rapid ascent in a sport that's, quickly gaining some serious global traction.
So let's back up a bit. What is competitive Yogasana exactly? How does it work?
Well, what's fascinating is how it's evolved from its traditional roots. It's become this recognized competitive discipline. It's now formally acknowledged by the Olympic Council of Asia, and that really signals its growing legitimacy on the international sports stage.
That's a big deal. Kind of like how gymnastics or maybe synchronized swimming developed over time.
Precisely. Yogasana seems to be on a similar trajectory.
And this championship wasn't just some small informal meetup, was it?
Oh, definitely not. It was organized under the aegis of World Yogasana.
Yeah, the global governing body.
Yes. So that tells you straight away, this is structured, it's professional, it's treated as a serious sport.
Right, and the scope of the event itself. You mentioned the scale.
The scale was impressive. The numbers really tell the story here. It was held from April 25th to 27th, 2025.
Okay, just recently then.
Yeah, at the Indira Gandhi Stadium in New Delhi. Huge venue.
You can almost picture the atmosphere, can't you?
Absolutely. Over 450 athletes. Imagine that energy. Each one focused on that perfect pose, that execution.
450 athletes.
Wow.
And representing how many countries?
21 Asian nations.
21. That's a massive turnout, especially for a sport still kind of carving out its competitive niche.
It really is. And they had a lot of events, too.
Like what kind of categories?
It was incredibly comprehensive. 88 competitive events in total.
88, yeah.
Across diverse categories like junior, senior A, senior B. So catering to different age groups and skill level.
Makes sense. And did it have official support?
Oh, significant support. The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India, and the Sports Authority of India, or SAI. They were key supporters.
That's crucial, isn't it? That kind of government endorsement really elevates things.
It's a powerful statement of intent for the sport's future. Absolutely.
And when you get that level of participation and backing, you sometimes see interesting trends emerge in the data, right?
Yeah.
Like participation demographics.
Yes. Actually, a really interesting point was that female athletes led the way.
Oh, how so?
There were 302 female participants compared to 174 male athletes.
Huh. That's quite a difference.
It is. And it's not just a statistic, it really highlights the strong interest and robust participation from women in competitive Yogasana.
Yeah.
Speaks volumes about the sport's accessibility and appeal, I think.
Interesting. Okay, let's get to the rankings, because this is where Japan's story gets really interesting.
Yes. So India, as the host nation, they were dominant.
Expected, perhaps.
Perhaps, given their deep roots in yoga. They secured first place with a staggering 87 medals.
87.
Yeah, get this. 83 gold, 3 silver, 1 bronze. Just incredible depth.
Wow, 83 golds. Okay, they clearly set the standard.
And this is the big but. The real breakthrough, the historic achievement we talked about, that was Japan.
Tell me about it.
They secured first runner-up. Second place overall.
On their debut.
Effectively, yes. On their official debut at this scale. They clinched 3 gold, 3 silver, and 4 bronze medals.
3 golds, 3 silvers, 4 bronze. So 10 medals total, landing them second place. That's monumental.
It really is. Think about it, a team making its first major international appearance like this, and they immediately become a top contender. It positions them as a significant new force.
Incredible. And who came in third?
That was Mongolia. They also showed considerable strength, finishing third with 1 gold, 11 silver, and 6 bronze.
Lots of silvers for Mongolia.
Yes, recognized for strong technique, very consistent, which is obviously crucial in Yogasana.
Okay, so India first, Japan second, Mongolia third. But you mentioned other countries had high medal counts too.
Exactly. And this brings up a really interesting point about how rankings work in these multi-medal events.
Right.
So nations like Nepal, they actually won 39 medals total, and Uzbekistan got 26.
More than Japan or Mongolia in total medals then?
Yes, in total count, but they ranked lower, Nepal and Uzbekistan.
Ah, so it's not just about the quantity.
Precisely. It illustrates that the quality of the victory, specifically the number of gold medals, often carries more weight in the final standings.
I see. So those 3 golds for Japan were really pivotal.
Absolutely pivotal. It's about achieving that peak performance, winning the top prize, quality over quantity.
Which makes sense if you're aiming for, say, Olympic standards down the line, right? Golds matter hugely there.
Exactly. This emphasis on gold aligns Yogasana more closely with traditional Olympic sport metrics. It encourages nations not just to participate broadly, but to really cultivate that world-class gold medal-winning talent.
Okay, let's dive deeper into Japan's specific journey because, like you said, it's fascinating. The Japan Yogasana Sports Federation, JYSF, this is their official coming out party, so to speak.
It really was. And they didn't just bring athletes, they brought judges, coaches, a full integrated delegation. Showed real commitment.
And how big was this delegation, you'd think, for a second-place finish?
That's what's remarkable. It was actually quite small, but incredibly impactful.
Small?
Only 4 athletes.
4. Just 4 athletes secured second place overall.
Yes. 1 male, 3 female. Participating in just 16 events out of the 88.
16 events. Okay, so they were very targeted in where they competed.
It suggests a highly focused approach, doesn't it? And obviously exceptional individual talent within that small group.
Imagine the pressure on those 4, making your country's debut.
Incredible pressure. Saori, Himali, Sakurako, and Hisashi. Their triumphs weren't just medals, they were, statements.
And they competed across a range of categories.
They did. Traditional Yogasana, which often involves a set sequence, but also specific skill areas. Things like hand balance, showing incredible strength and control.
Right.
Forward bend, testing flexibility, leg balance, twisting body, supine poses. A real mix.
But not everything.
Correct. It's worth noting they didn't participate in the artistic or rhythmic categories this time around, maybe focusing on the more technically defined poses first.
Okay, and the individuals, how did they do?
They really showed. Saori, competing in the senior female category, she earned a bronze in leg balance individual and a silver in twisting body individual.
Nice results.
Then Himali, she was in the junior female group, secured 3 bronze medals in traditional Yogasana, forward bend, and supine.
Wow, 3 bronzes for a junior. Consistent.
Very. And then Sakurako, also senior female, she was a new entrant, apparently, and caused quite a stir.
How so?
She won gold in hand balance individual.
Gold on debut.
Yes, a truly impressive feat. Got tremendous recognition for it.
Fantastic. And the male athlete, Hisashi.
Hisashi, yes, senior male. He was a multiple medalist, really stood out.
Okay.
Gold in hand balance individual and supine individual.
2 golds.
And silver in forward bend individual and twisting body individual. So 2 golds, 2 silvers for him alone.
Incredible haul for one athlete.
Definitely. And they mentioned another new entrant, Masashi, also received a huge ovation, even if not medaling, showing strong potential.
So clearly exceptional athletes, but you mentioned judges and coaches too.
Right. It wasn't just about the athletes performing. The JYSF president, Ashutosh Singh, and the general secretary, Yumi Kashiwagi, they both served as official judges at the championship.
Ah, so Japan was involved at the organizational and officiating level too.
Exactly. It shows a multifaceted engagement. They're not just competing, they're helping to build and shape the sports structure internationally. That's quite significant for a debuting federation.
It really is. Now, you mentioned structure. What about transparency? Judging in sports like this can sometimes be subjective, right?
That's always a challenge for aesthetic or technical sports, but this championship highlighted some big steps forward there.
Like what?
They introduced something called the Time Scoring and Results System, or TSR.
TSR.
Yeah, powered by YUGA technology and World Yogasana. The key thing was it ensured real-time, transparent scoring.
Real-time and transparent. That's huge for credibility, isn't it?
Massive. Especially for an emerging competitive sport where clear, fair judging is paramount. You need athletes and federations to trust the system.
Absolutely. Did they do anything to, train the judges on this new system?
They did. There was a pre-event technical workshop. It trained 48 certified judges, including folks from Japan, on the new protocol.
Good. So investing in the infrastructure, the human side of it too?
That commitment to standardized, clear judging is essential if the sport wants to grow internationally and maintain integrity.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And was the event well recognized? Did any important figures attend?
Oh, yes. It had some seriously high-profile recognition. Param Puja Swami Ramdev Ji Maharaj.
The president of World Yogasana.
Exactly. He was there, along with very honorable ministers and officials from the Indian government.
So real government and organizational backing on display.
Definitely underscored the significance being placed on this championship. It wasn't a minor event.
And Japan's role. Was it acknowledged beyond just the medal ceremony?
It seems so. There was a nice symbolic moment where Ashutosh Singh, the JYSF president,
The one who was also a judge.
right, he actually presented medals to some athletes from India and Mongolia during one of the ceremonies.
Oh, interesting.
And he also received a memento and the event mascot on behalf of Japan. Small gestures, maybe, but they signified Japan's growing role and acceptance within the broader Yogasana movement. Not just a competitor, but a partner.
A rising influence, you could say.
I think so, yeah.
So what does all this signal for the future? Where does Yogasana go from here? And what about Japan's role?
Well, the interest is clearly expanding. You've already got bids submitted to host the next Asian Championship in 2027.
Oh, really? From who?
Mongolia, Hong Kong, and Malaysia have all put in bids.
Okay, so there's competitive interest among nations to actually host, which shows momentum.
Serious momentum. And the Japan Yogasana Sports Federation, the JYSF, they have a really bold vision moving forward.
What are they aiming for?
They're explicitly committed to strengthening their athletes, coaches, and judges, focusing on international collaboration.
Building capacity across the board.
Exactly. And their president, Ashutosh Singh, had a great quote summing it up. He said, "From zero to podium, Japan's Yogasana journey has just begun."
Nice lines.
He continued, "We are committed to elevating this beautiful discipline with Japanese precision, spirit, and international unity."
Japanese precision and spirit. That really captures a specific approach, doesn't it?
It does, and they're aiming high. JYSF's stated vision is to elevate Yogasana to Olympic-level standards.
Wow, okay.
With Japanese precision, ethics, and training systems. So they see themselves not just participating, but actively shaping the sport's evolution towards that ultimate goal.
That's quite something. Taking this ancient discipline, known for inner peace, and applying, well, Olympic-level rigor and Japanese precision to it.
It's a fascinating blend, and as they said, this championship wasn't just a competition.
It was the beginning of a movement.
Exactly. It really felt like that, especially with Japan's incredible debut, seeing them rise so rapidly. It's remarkable.
It truly is. You have this ancient practice meeting modern, tough competition, and Japan just bursting onto the scene. The momentum does feel palpable.
Definitely.
So it leaves you wondering, doesn't it? As Yogasana pushes for potentially greater recognition, maybe even the Olympics one day, how might Japan's specific focus, that precision, the ethics they emphasize, how might that shape the global development of this sport? And what other surprises or innovations might we see next?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's certainly going to be fascinating to watch.